Hola! Welcome to the How to Write a Solo Show 14-day slam. I'm here, people. As promised, thank you for signing up. And let me make sure I'm sharing with everyone. And if you want to type in comments or questions right now, you can do that in the comments. And I will try and address them during the course of this 10 minutes. I will be here every day for the next 14 days at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time for 10 minutes talking about how to write a solo show. I will deal with everything from how to do autobiographical work without pissing off your family, how to fictionalize autobiography, how to start writing when you're blocked, how to write a great solo show that doesn't feel like freaking therapy, which is a super huge question that I get all the time. And my attempt in these next 14 days is to give you a new exercise that you can do each day so that by the time we get to the end of the 14 days and you put together all that information, you should have a few scenes written out, right? At least your opening scene and some monologues that we can get rolling. I'm also going to talk about structure. I'm also going to talk about the two major forms of solo show. There are monologue solo shows that are just you become a different character and they tell a story, all right? And Whoopi Goldberg's solo show, Whoopi, her first one is like that. Then there are solo shows that are scene-driven, in which multi-characters talk in those scenes, and you move from scene to scene just like a traditional play, right? It's a well-made play. It just happens to be one person doing all the parts, right? Now, Nalaja's Son's No Child is like that. It's a great show. It is a complete play that could be done by several different people simultaneously, okay? So it's a well-made play in that it's one person playing all these different characters, but you are telling one cohesive story, as opposed to a monologue-driven play, which is each character that you're doing has their own monologue and they tell a story, right? So these are the two major forms, right, of solo show work, all right? I'm gonna make sure I'm sharing this with everyone so that everybody can weigh in. At the end of this class, this is our first class, we're gonna be a little bit longer than 10 minutes. We're gonna be about 15, but the rest of the days we're gonna be straight up 10 minutes, okay? So those are the two major forms. Now, most folks with solo show are like, I don't wanna write, or I feel blocked. One, because I'm afraid that my family, I will air my dirty laundry and my family will get upset for telling our family secrets. And then the other one that I get is I don't want to write a show that's therapy, okay? That's just bad therapy. Nobody wants to hear about that. Nobody wants to see that. The end, okay? I'm going to deal with that today. Please send me your questions. Please, please, please. I'm listening. Please, please send me your questions. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Soyini. You guys got questions? Please put them down in the comments. I will respond. All right. Let's deal with why you're not writing. I hear this all the time, and I want to dispense with it. If you're on social media right now and you have commented on something, you're writing. The way that you speak is writing. Okay, so the first exercise I want you to do is to go to your post, everything you've written, everything you've commented on, every opinion that you've expressed, everything that you felt strongly about, everything that made you laugh, is to start cutting and pasting those comments into one document. Don't edit it, don't worry about it, all right? Because the source of those comments, you commented because you felt strongly about something. That's where the best writing comes from, where you have the strongest point of view about something, okay? And you have a lot to learn from the things that you've already written, from grocery lists to wish lists to to-do lists to rants about something going on in the world right now that makes you upset, your opinion about something in the news. All of that is writing. All of that is raw content that you're letting go by. The conversation that you had in audition room today, the conversation room you had around coffee in your office today, all of that is writing. All of that is the story of your life happening in real time, okay? So your writer's voice is the way that you speak. Your writer's voice are the thoughts that you think that you don't often share. Your writer's voice, your great writer's voice, hi Eugene, your greatest writer's voice is your unfiltered opinions, of which I'm famous. It's probably why I became a writer. I have lots to say about the world. What would happen if you just wrote down your opinions? That's all writing is. So, hey! So, when you think about writing as this thing that has to be finished and it has to be great and it has to be edited, you're not an editor, you're a writer. Writers write. Repeat after me. Writers write. I want you to pick up a piece of paper right now, wherever you are, or your phone, and type it into notes or into an email. That's writing. Okay? If there were a story, hi Chris! If anybody has questions, please put them in the comments. This is our first How to Write a Solo Show Slam class. There'll be 14 days of this, all right? 12:30 here every day. Now, if you want the chance to maybe see replays if they get done again, or to get invitations sent directly to you, that's right, Eugene, writers write. You're a writer when you write. Let's demystify all of that all the time. You're a writer when you write. I have some very bad news for you. Trump's a writer. He spends his time on Twitter telling you exactly what he feels. That's writing. If somebody cut and paste every single one of his tweets, it would be a book. That's writing. So you can sit around talking about you're not a writer while crazy people like him are writing stuff, or you can start putting your opinion into the world. Because the person who writes down what is happening is the person that defines what history is. All right? Not the person who complained about why they can't write. All right? If you're sending emails, if you're making lists, you're writing. So you're going to take out a piece of paper right now. Right? Right where you are. Right now. Or your phone. Right? Write down what happened today. The first thing that comes to mind. Don't think about it. Don't edit it. Don't change it. Write down what happened today. The first thing that comes to your mind is the thing that's going to be the most important, even if it sounds unimportant right now. I went to the refrigerator and everything was spoiled. And then I had to go to the store. And I went to the store before I even had coffee, and that was a shitty experience because I hadn't had coffee. That's a story. Write down what happened. All right? You can even jot down notes and write down the rest of it later. The fact of the matter is, if I get you to write 5 sentences today, then tomorrow when we get on this call, this live class, and I give you 5 more sentences to write, and that happens every day for 14 days. Okay, I'm not good at math, but that's what, 10 times 5, 50 sentences, another 50 sentences, that's an essay. If you write 5 sentences a day when I sit and talk to you in this class, that's an essay at the end of this 2 weeks. Writing happens one day at a time, 1 word at a time, 1 sentence at a time. Writing happens 1 word at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 sentence at a time. If you need a guide, I certainly do. When I get up to write, I turn on my favorite podcast. I pick up my favorite writers. I will read an essay or a blog entry. I will read a poem, and that triggers my writing mechanism, and then I write 3 pages longhand. Or I write a post for Instagram about something that I'm inspired by, and that ends up being 3 pages longhand. It doesn't matter where you write as long as you write, because the more you write, the easier it becomes to write, right? And we're in an age right now, midlifers, where everybody wants to write their memoir. Well, you know what? This current generation needs to hear something that makes some sense. So we need a whole lot more memoirs being written, because what's going on around us is some crazy. And it's because us who have lived longer are not telling our stories. We're not creating an alternate guidepost for those who are coming behind us. We're not telling them the journey of how we lived, what we did while we were here, so the next generation doesn't have to make the same mistakes. The next generation is sort of making it up as they go along because we're not telling our stories, right? So the next time you're online and you see something ridiculous, some rapper did something or somebody had a sex tape and you complain about it, are you giving them an alternate story to follow? Some signpost, some guidepost by telling your own? We're not. You've lived a long time. Write down your story. Tell us what you did while you were here. Tell us what you got right. Tell us what you didn't do so well. But right, you have a lot to say. Eugene, I've seen your post. You have a whole story there. Write it down. That's a book. That's a memoir. Your dad's story? That's a story. Write it down. Document it. He who writes down the words creates history. Right? Right? I keep hearing, oh, we're griots, we have an oral culture and we don't write anything down. I was like, well, that's why Africa is all jacked up right now, because the books have been destroyed. So we don't have control of our story. The only story about Africa is that we were slaves and we were colonized, because the books have been destroyed. He who writes down history controls not only the story, but what gets remembered and what happens next. Right? When you write it down, people have a signpost to do better. When you don't, the story that gets told, if it's not left up to a really good writer, we're screwed, right? So you're writing. I'm talking you through it. That's my job here. I'm driving your writing process. Let me do that for 14 days. You can sign up. I will put the link at the top here. You can sign up at thedreamunlocked.com for the Solo Show 14-Day Slam. And I will send you a reminder each day that I'm going live, and you can join me here. All right. These 14 days will culminate in a free 90-minute webinar in which you'll come on and share some of your writing or ask me questions about structure. And what I'm going to spend these first few days doing is teaching you how to generate raw content, which you won't edit, right? That's what everybody, so where do I get started? Where do I get started? Where do I get started? That's what I'm going to talk you through these first few days, is just get you writing. Just stay on the page. Just commit to being on the page, okay? If you do that, we'll get writing done. It's really simple. It's not rocket science, my beauties. It's really simple. So you wrote down what happened today, right? Great. I'm going to give you an assignment to take home, right? You're going to do it sometime between today and tomorrow. Talk to somebody you love, like your best friend, somebody you have like a great relationship with and you don't feel like you need to filter yourself and they understand you and they get you. And I want you to talk to them about the story you want to write. And I want you to record yourself. What's the story that you want to write? What's the story that you want to tell? I want you to pick up your phone. I want you to grab your wife, grab your boyfriend, grab your bestie. You can be on the phone. It can be on Skype. It can be on Facebook Live. It can be on WhatsApp, whatever. Just get somebody listening to you that you trust and you feel cool with. And I want you to record yourself for 10 minutes. And I want you to tell them, if you had all the time in the world, all the space in the world, if you had a guiding teacher or a private coach who was there by your side walking you through it step of the way, what is a story that you would write? I want you to dream out loud about that and record it. Because here's this really powerful thing that I've learned in the last couple of days. I just got this amazing 12th century Moroccan house. Okay? It just fell into my lap. And you know how it fell into my lap? I went on my blog and I wrote down what I wanted. And then I went and shared it on social media. And then another friend shared it in a group. And then someone called me and said, I have that house. Do you want to come look at it? And a month later, I went and looked at it. And when I was done, they were like, you want it? It was exactly what I asked for. From the courtyard with the tree in the middle and the rooftop garden to the muted stone earth tones. And here's the thing. I wrote down very clearly exactly what I wanted. The neighborhood, the colors, the shape, the size. I wrote it down. I made the rest of the world see what I wanted by writing it down. And then the world could respond to my story. That's all writing is. It's rewriting the story of what your life is supposed to look like, what your life should be if you had everything that you wanted. I swear to you, if you write it, it will come. And it will come. Even if there's not one thing that you're wishing, writing it down actually helps you organize your thoughts about where you want, what you want to do next, what you want next, how to solve problems that you're stuck with. Writing it down helps you see the path clearly. It's really magical, right? That's why we turn to writing and story for inspiration. When we're stuck, we read the Quran, we read the Bible, we read good fiction, we read self-help. We go to writers to learn more about ourselves and to rewrite our own story. That's what I'm going to spend the next 14 days doing, is helping you write your story without even thinking about it. You're not going to edit any of this. Got it? So today you wrote to me, you wrote down in your little notebook what happened. Okay? Today. This is the first thing that came to mind. It ain't got to be detailed. It could be a few sentences. Tonight, you're going to talk into a recorder for 10 minutes to a friend about the story that you would like to write if you have all the time in the world. Okay? And then I will see you back here at 12:30 tomorrow. Isn't that awesome? Does anybody have questions? Ah, Eugene was like, yep, Trump actually is a writer. He cannot outwrite you. Can you please start writing? Hi, Cian. Writers write, yo. The writers don't work on getting it right. Writers work on writing. I'll see you guys here tomorrow at 12:30 EST. Bye. And sign up so you can get in on the big free webinar, the live interactive class in a few weeks. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.